Hello everyone, it's Dane from leadgenerationtechniques101.com and fivefiguremethod.com. I just thought I would do a quick screencast video today for people who have WordPress websites that are possibly hacked. If you are experienced with WordPress, you know that sometimes those websites have vulnerabilities or security issues, and it's kind of a constant battle sometimes to keep up with these little hack scripts and things that go on the internet. So I've been going through my FTP list of all my websites because I was getting some notifications from Google saying that some of my sites may be hacked, and to take a look. So that's another reason why it's important to make sure that you have your websites listed with Google Webmaster Tools. That should be one of the first things you should do, because they will alert you to malicious files that have been placed on your websites, to other issues. You know, if they sense that your site, you know, may have a bunch of hacked files, they'll label the files usually if they think they're a threat to people who are going to visit them. And they obviously see patterns in files, maybe huge lists of files that weren't there before. So anyways, those are the benefits of having a Google Webmaster Tools account. So you go to google.com/webmasters or webmaster, and it should bring up their site, and you can go on there and list and verify your websites. And it gives you other details for like links and quick references for links and keywords and you know, errors, crawl errors, and things like that you can quickly look at to see, you know, if there's ways that you can improve the traffic to your website. But anyways, just to show you, I went through a whole bunch of websites that I own currently. So I've cleaned up most of them, but I thought I'd just shoot a quick screencast just to show you kind of things to look for. I have quite a few websites, and some of them actually they're not even active. I haven't done anything with them for years, but that kind of helps to eliminate some of these files. So if you do get a hacked website, or you know, when you're going in and you do a site operator command in Google, and you list your website, here I'll show you actually first. I'm just going to pause the video for a second, and then I'll come back and I'll show you what I mean. Okay, so I'm back. So for example, one of my websites I went on is bassguitarsource.com. It's a niche site related to people who like bass guitar, etc. and whatnot. But anyways, I was noticing I was getting some notifications from Google saying it might be hacked. I looked. You put in this, if you go to Google and you put in site, and then your website address, and then put one of the keywords. The type of hack that I got was like a pharma hack. So it's gonna just list or install all these pages related to Viagra and Cialis and things like that, and you can see them here. Right? These are pages that have been added to my site. I obviously didn't put those on a bass guitar website. There used to be a ton more, but now I'm down to 3, so I obviously still have some on there. But anyways, if you ever want to search your site to see if you have hacked pages, you could put this operator in, site, the name of your website, and then just certain keywords, you know, Viagra, Cialis, I don't know, other drug names, other spam names, payday loans, whatever. You could just look and see if you're getting a listing of sites or pages that just don't look right. If you are, then you know that you've been hacked, and you can remove them. So usually, if you go back to, I go back to my FTP program. This is one of my websites. This is a site I haven't used for years. But anyways, just looking in the back end of the site, here's all your files, obviously, for WordPress. Your folders, all this stuff is pretty normal here. I've deleted stuff already, but I just, like I said, I thought I better go and remove some things. I literally probably haven't done anything to the site though for a couple of years. So I know right off the bat when I look in here and I see last modified date 2010, 2010, 2013, 2014, 2011, 2014, 2014, 11, you know, that's normal to me because I haven't done anything on the site since then. But when I start seeing last modified 2015, last modified 2015, last modified 2015, those chances are those sites, those pages there are something that's been added to the site. Me knowing my WordPress sites as well as I do, and I know what files to look for, this I know is not right. I could open it up and show you. I'll just open it, view it in Dreamweaver. Just one sec. So here I am in Dreamweaver, and I look at it quickly, and it just says, something weird like this, keyword index, request keyword index, blah, 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 whatever. I'm not a PHP expert by any means, but I know that that's not normal, and I know it's not a normal file. So what I would do is I'm going to remove that. I've tested it on my own site, and it doesn't affect anything. But you look for files like that. You look for things that look unusual. Some of these named files here. This is just an unusual looking name. If I was to open that in Dreamweaver, I bet you it's the same type of stuff. So there you go. Same thing again, keyword index. It's a file that's calling those other pages. I've deleted them. They're usually installed in folders. Here you would see your regular folders that are required for your website, but then you might see other folders. Like I had some that were called like Doc Martin, and I had some that were called Birkenstock, and some that were Seaside and Lovey, and a bunch of really bizarre names. Obviously Birkenstock and Doc Martin were probably affiliate pages that were set up, installed so that they can make money from my traffic, right? But I deleted all those folders, and sometimes the folders might have 40 files or 20 files or 100 files. Sometimes they might have 1,000 or more. So anyways, it's a good idea to take a look and see what's going on. Files like this, I just simply delete it. Now, you have to exercise caution. I'm not familiar with your website. I'm not saying go out there and delete a bunch of files on your page. If you have any doubts at all, you should be backing everything up, backing up your database, backing up your website, or talking to somebody who knows more what they're doing if you're not an expert. So don't just go start deleting files, because you can mess your website up and then you get a whole new set of problems. But it's just good to be aware of files that look unusual, dates. If you know you haven't done anything on your website in a long time, if you can open the files and look and see that they're not normal, they're not ones that look normal to you, they're calling for keyword lists and things like that. On a regular WordPress website, there's no need for that. It's just things that you look for. See, here's another one. This one's disguised as cache.php, which to me, knowing WordPress like I do, it's not a regular file that you would see. And again, keyword index. It's looking for it's calling some sort of file to, I don't know, somehow call certain pages to mind when people search online. So anyways, that's only because I have a knowledge of which files are normal and which ones I'm accustomed to seeing on a regular clean WordPress site. And then I start seeing files that don't look normal. And like I said, again, the date 2015, I haven't done anything to this website other than maybe update the actual WordPress version. That's it. And the fact that I've updated the WordPress version, that might account for this here with the WordPress content folder for sorry, let me delete this. That might account for this WordPress folder here, because if you go in here, there's plugins and there's themes and upgrading and different things related to WordPress that it may explain why it's 2015, because I've done a regular WordPress update to keep WordPress current. And that brings me to another point, is that when you have a WordPress site, you want to keep your plugins up to date, you want to keep your WordPress versions up to date, you want to uninstall plugins that you maybe aren't using, that aren't active, and keep everything up to date. Stuff you're not using, you're better off getting rid of it, they say. I'm guilty of that. Sometimes I leave them on there too, but you want to just keep everything current, because if you let stuff go, that's why new versions come out, because there's maybe vulnerabilities or security flaws in the old things. So plugins, keep them up to date. WordPress version up to date. You know, your themes up to date. Things you're not using that aren't being updated or whatever. Things you're not using that are just sitting there. If they're inactive or they're not activated, delete them, remove them, whatever. That's some of the best ways to keep your WordPress secure, as well as you know, maybe changing your password. Especially if you've had issues like this where you've been hacked, you might want to go in there after you've cleaned it up and then change your password to something new and kind of throw in some characters, you know, dashes, asterisks, you know, different characters, not just, you know, name the password, the name of your website with a couple numbers. Like, you want to make them complicated so that they're hard to hack. Anyway, so I just thought I would do that quick for you and just show you again. You want to keep a lookout for hacked files in your folders here. You would see, I said, new folders that maybe have bizarre names. And when you double click them and open them up, you would see just a huge list of just .html files, which those have been installed and they connect to your website and they'll come up for certain keyword searches when people search. So that's what you want to be aware of. You want to also be just careful though that you don't go deleting anything that you think is suspicious without knowing for sure, because then you can mess your website up. So anyways, that's a quick tip. I am going to upload this video and hopefully some people out there will get benefits out of it. It's a good idea to keep ideas, to keep a look at your, to take a look at your WordPress sites regularly, and just make sure that there's not any unusual things happening and unusual files or folders or whatever. And it's not just WordPress, it can be HTML websites as well. So you just want to look for things that don't look, you know, make sure everything looks like it's good. Like, here's an old site I haven't done nothing with for a long time. You know, I look at it and it makes sense. All 2010, 2010, 2010, 2011, 2010, you know, if I start seeing 2015 in there, 2014, you know, I may have gotten hacked and just not known it. Okay, so anyways, that's it for today. If you like this, and maybe there's other tips that you're interested in seeing, or ideas for making money online and different strategies in order to help you rank your websites, then check out leadgenerationtechniques101.com. Okay, thanks.